Welcome to English Digi Lessons, and this is for class 7 unit 5. My Trip to the Moon. It is a poem, and it is a wonderful poem. It is related to science, and sometimes it is useful for our imagination also. My Trip to the Moon. Here is the poem. I was sitting alone in my house, studying the structure of a mouse. My exams were going on, and science I hadn't done. Suddenly the lights went out. Then I heard a loud burst. Someone was there outside. I went out to look, full of fright. So here, just to try to guess the meanings of go on and went out. Do you know the meaning of go on? Means continue, and went out, it is related to lights, that means lights on and lights off. Suddenly there was a power cut. The boy was alone in his house and he was preparing for his exams. As he was going to write science examination, he was studying the structure of a mouse. Just guess which mouse the poet mentioned here, whether the animal mouse or the computer mouse. Try to guess that, relevant to the poem here in this context. And maybe you also sometimes write examinations and you prepare well. Am I right? Right, here, continue. While the boy was studying, the lights went out. He was afraid. Then he heard a loud burst. So everywhere there was dark. So he was afraid. And he heard the sound. Can you guess what do you think that sound was? Just try to guess what could be that sound was. And you can say the answer like this. I think that sound was. So here, whatever you guess, you can say that. Try to say. Let us continue. He thought that there was someone outside. He was afraid. He slowly went to the window to see who there was. As it was dark and he heard a sound, he looked out of the window to see who there was. Just try to guess who could he see outside the window. Just imagine who came there and why they have come there. Let us continue the poem. I saw a huge rocket and an astronaut in white. He invited me on a flight to the moon. We reached there by afternoon. We jumped around as we couldn't walk on the ground. It was a lot of fun. I reached home before the setting sun. My science test went very well, but no one knows the secret, which even now inside me dwells. So he visited the moon and he returned, and he had a lot of fun there on the moon. And you see, there he could not walk. Just to try to guess why we could not walk on the moon. And here the child went to the window and looked out of the window. Then the child saw a rocket and an astronaut. The astronaut invited the child to go to the moon. They reached the moon by afternoon. Just imagine, can we really go such quickly to the moon? Within hours. That means whether it was real or not, just think about it. As they couldn't walk on the ground or on the moon, they jumped and enjoyed. Can you say why we could not walk properly on the moon? What is the reason behind that? Just think and try to write the answer in your notebook. They had a lot of fun on the moon and they returned home by evening. That means they have gone to the moon and returned within one day. How crazy that is. Do you think it is possible? Right. Okay, after returning home, the child wrote the examination very well, and only he knew the secret behind his better performance in examination. Can you say why the child performed very well in the examination? He wrote the exam very well. So try to answer that question. What helped him to write the exam better? If you were given chance, which planet would you visit? Just like the child, if you were given the chance, which planet do you visit? Try to write in your own sentences.